I'm Julie.
And I'm Martin. And we live full-time on our 58-foot narrowboat home, Rhapsody in blue.
We're taking you along as we continuously cruise the canals and rivers of the UK with some beautiful scenery, occasional wildlife, landmarks, aqueducts and tunnels. Come with us. Last time, Martin and Nikki had managed to fix her prop shaft and we had just got underway again and we were on our way into the Saltisford Arm. So, here we go. He's done that lovely. Apparently the moorings that we are going to are at the end of the arm and we have to wind in the winding hole and reverse onto the moorings. And this is the service area where we will come on the way out and get our pump out and all sorts. So although it's windy, it's very warm today. It's quite muggy actually, but it's nice. And it's dry, so that's the main thing. Yeah, the moorings are all the way up there and they've got a grassy area at the side. So this looks lovely, doesn't it? Really nice. Saltisford Canal Trust Visitor Centre. Complaints department 100 miles that way. This is Maria. We'll come and speak to you in a minute. So we're going to be mooring just up there in front of that purple boat. So we're now going to turn round in this lovely wide winding hole. Doesn't it look pretty? Look at that. Oh, it is nice here. And that looks like old lock gates. Oh, I'll have to find out what that is. Oh, it does look nice here. Oh, I'm glad we've found this place. Okay, the wind has decided to blow at completely the wrong time and push us the wrong way now. Oh, good fun and games, isn't it? That's it. It was all hands on deck then. We ended up broadside along there, but we've managed to get off of it, thankfully. So I couldn't hold the camera and push away at the same time. So we've now done it and we're reversing back. And back we go. This is the visitor centre. So I love this sign. Complaints department, 100 miles. Yeah.
The 400th anniversary of Shakespeare's first folio.
Oh wow.
And I think it's the nephew of Simon who is one of our site managers.
Yeah.
Tom, he came and he just literally sketched it out and then just went with a paintbrush. And if you go on the Saltisford Facebook page, there should be a load of photographs on there that show you how he did it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing to watch.
And this is where the bees live. There's the beehives up there. And I've just bought a jar of the honey. Can't wait to try this. And that's it. And then it was time for coffee and cake.
Still on purpose dropping it before.
Yeah,
Good. And the relay starts.
The next day we thought we'd take a walk into Warwick. So this is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And then there's that little tiny old chapel next to it. That's obviously seen better days. Aren't these pretty? They smell wonderful. We loved Warwick Centre with all the lovely flowers and the bunting. It just looked beautiful. And then there was the stunning St Mary's Church. It's beautiful in here. I'm now down in the crypt. This video that was playing was showing how they clean right at the top of the church, and I mean right at the very top. Look at the view. Even the clock is ornate. There were some lovely old buildings, quirky little side streets, and every now and again you got a glimpse of Warwick Castle. This is a map of the castle. We had chosen not to go and visit the castle this time, but our friends Wes and Amy from Boat Time did a lovely video on it. I'll leave a link in the description. We did pop into the gift shop though and had a quick look round, and I got this stunning photo through the railings.
We're having a trip round Warwick.
We are.
Little Warwick.
Little Warwick.
We took a walk to a bridge where we'd been told we would get a really good view of the castle. Unfortunately, there was loads of scaffolding, and this is what we saw. This is what it should have looked like. This is down by the River Avon, and this is not something you see every day, is it?
Is that a good present, Finn? Tomorrow from my mum got this.
Ready?
Wait.
Ready? Ready? Go. Come on.
Let Julie do it.
Come
Julie
here.
do it.
Just almost threw it over her shoulder then. Ready? Ready? Go. Good girl.
Obviously worth buying that today, wasn't it? Hey?
One more and then Martin can have his dinner off it later.
Just found a lovely little park, kiddies playground, and then there's a little rivulet thing that goes down to the River Avon. And of course, being a warm day, we had to stop and have some ice cream before taking our walk back past St Nicholas's Church and back to the boats. This is St Nicholas Church. They have an old day boat called Salty that's now on hard standing. They're currently using her as a meeting room or an office, and one of their long-term residents and kindly agreed to talk to us. And this is Keith.
Yes, welcome to the Saltisford Arm. This is part of what was originally called the Warwick to Birmingham Canal,
Yeah.
and Act of Parliament went through in 1793 to build it, along with the Warwick to Nepton Canal, which joins this canal at the Bradbrook Junction, just outside the Arm here.
Yeah.
And was completed in late 1799, and on the 19th of December 1799 had a big celebration at the junction.
Oh wow.
Trade started around about the 15th of March 1700 and was initially things like wood for boat building, slate, lime coming down from Derbyshire, all sorts of materials. And actually at the basins at the end of the arm, which no longer exist, there were 20 different wharfs.
Good Lord.
Serving the town. And trade was not particularly busy because it was more considered as a through route, being a quicker connection from Birmingham to London via the Grand Junction Canal, rather than the very tortuous and very old Oxford, Coventry and Birmingham Paisley canals, which linked with the Thames at Oxford. A very much shorter direct route. Of course, taking trade away from those other canals, which they weren't too happy about.
Goodness.
So, the next big step was in 1823, when the gasworks was built at the end of the arm. And at the time, when they were built, it was the biggest gasworks in Europe.
Goodness.
And it lit 174 lamps in Warwick.
Goodness.
Sort of think of it as gas.
Yes.
Yeah, so coal was brought down by canal for that purpose. Next major step was 1845, when the Great Western Railway built its line through here, through Leamington Spa, Warwick, with quite a few sidings off, and of course business on the canal started to decrease. In 1923, the Regent's Canal in London amalgamated with the Grand Junction Canal, and when the two joined, they then purchased these two canals, the Warwick to Birmingham Junction Canal, which is up in Birmingham, and also the Leicester canals joining down onto the River Soar and onto the River Trent. And it was that then that they came up with the name Grand Union, which is a combination of the Grand Junction
Yes.
and the original Union Canal.
Oh, right.
The next major step really was in the 1930s, when during the Depression the government wanted to give men work.
Right.
And one of the projects was on these two canals, because back then the locks were only narrow, could take only one boat at a time.
Yes.
Whereas the Regent's Canal and the Grand Junction Canal were wide locks, could take two.
Yeah.
So there were two projects running at the same time. One was to put concrete banking along all the towpaths, and the other was to build wider locks in place of the narrow locks. And the way they did it was they actually built the wider locks next to the narrow locks to keep the narrow locks working whilst they built it.
Yes, we saw that as we came through. Yes. Yeah.
Well, it's the same all the way from Birmingham, so the Knoll locks all the way up to Neptune. They're all like that.
Wow. Yeah.
Consequently, what they did was over on the other side there, on the south bank, they built this big cement works, which supplied all the cement for the rebuilding of the locks. And being during the Depression, the 1930s, they are actually the newest locks on the canal system.
Wow.
The next use after that was during the war, when ammunitions which came from Elmscott were shipped up into Birmingham from here. But after that, very little trade on the actual arm, and it fell into decline until in the 1970s, the local branch of the IWI started to campaign to keep the arm open, because there was moves to develop it and build on it, and it was quite a struggle. And eventually in 1982 restoration started. Work was carried out to clear the canal, rebuild the bank walls, get water into it, and within 2 years they were actually able to get boats in, and they had what was the very first Warwick Canal Festival.
Wow.
Wow, that's brilliant.
It's amazing what's been done. When you actually delve
Yeah.
into the history, it's amazing what's been achieved.
The other thing in 1982 was the canal bridge under the railway at the end of the arm, that was filled in 1982, so really quite recent.
Yeah.
But documentation that I'm going through at the moment is all about the development of that site as industrial, and talking about closing a lot of the arm by having to put bridges across for access to the site.
Yeah.
And I'm just getting to the point where they're talking about widening the Budbrook Road Bridge to actually use that bridge rather than build a new bridge. Now, had they gone forward with the other schemes, then a lot of this arm would have been lost from basically from Rose Cottage here, where we are, upwards. And there was also projects where they were going to turn this actually into a marina by digging right out back to the Birmingham Road. There were some ambitious plans.
Yeah.
And
well, I'm glad they didn't do that, because this is such a beautiful arm.
it has got quite a checkered history in its life.
Has. And how long have you been here, Keith?
Just over 10 years now as a resident. Yeah.
And your boat? You've been on boats though for a lot longer than 10 years.
Yes, I started 56 years ago working part-time on a historic boat called Pisces, which is a community boat, still working today as a community boat, taking kids for trips. And I started working on her part-time at the age of 16.
Wow.
So you've seen a lot of changes in your time.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Working to
people think
leisure.
People think canals are in a state now. No. You should have been here in the 60s.
Right.
There was no magic phone number that you could ring up on a mobile to get somebody to come out there.
No.
You had to sort it yourself.
Yeah. But it makes me laugh though when you're saying, that was really recent, 1982. That's like 42 years ago. It's not recent at all. But in canal terms, it's very recent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's some of the tunnels and things are over like 200 odd years old.
Well, yes.
It's just
because the very early canals building started in the early 1770s.
It's so hard, isn't it? People don't.
1770s.
And
wow.
You can even in the short time from then, like the Oxford and Coventry canals were very early canals, and they were called contour canals because they literally followed the contours of the land. And anyone that's been on the Oxford Canal will see on their maps great big loops that you have to go round. It's,
Yes.
why didn't they just... But it wasn't until they started building canals like these, some 20 years later,
Yes.
that they started to build embankments and cuttings
Yes.
to make the canals more
Yeah. It
straight.
always amazes me when we go through tunnels, the work that must have gone into those tunnels,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the fact that they're like 200 years old,
Yeah.
and it was all done by hand.
Yeah.
none of this machinery that
No,
they
no,
have today.
no, no. Well,
It's just incredible.
I mean, this particular canal, as I say, it was built between 1793 and 1799, 6 years, from
Wow.
London to Birmingham, with only spades, pickaxes and wheelbarrows,
Yeah.
but lots of men.
Lots of men, yes,
Yeah.
yes, lots of men.
Yeah,
And we find it very interesting because it's like, for us now, a lot of people take it for granted that, like the canals are leisure. I don't think people realise that, these were the highways
yeah.
before, everything else,
Yeah.
and
These were the highways of industry, weren't they?
when I started, there were still working boat families, working
Yeah.
boats, and they'd been. In fact, the man who taught me, Dennis, he was born and brought up on a working boat.
Yeah.
So he actually taught me all the techniques on what they learned.
so we've
Yes.
just recently come from the Broadston show and it was to see a lot of the working boats there.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
mean,
that was fantastic.
that was fantastic, and it does
Yeah.
bring it home, like places like this.
Having been involved with canal restoration from as early as 1972, I always feel very sad that things like this arm. I mean, people come here and I tell them about the restoration, but there are canals like, for instance, Canal, the Ashton Canal that I worked on in 1972, and the Peak Forest. But the original restoration project was the Stourbridge Canal. And in fact, at that time, British Water Transport, which was the predecessor of British Waterways, were opposed to volunteers restoring it. The volunteers still went ahead and restored it. And what I find sad is that there are people coming onto the canals now, travelling these restored canals, got no concept that canal wouldn't be there if it wasn't for volunteers. And
No.
Exactly.
No, this is it. We often say, don't we? We've come home. We are now home on the water. But when you look back, the work that's gone into all of that, so that we've got what we've got today, is just incredible, and we really do appreciate it. Don't
And
we?
the Saltisford Arm, that's mostly run by volunteers.
well, it's run by a trust.
Trust, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
As a charity.
Yeah.
Yes, we do have 3 members of part-time staff. But yeah, a lot of the work is still done by volunteers.
Yeah.
And of course, the visitor moorings that you are on,
Yeah.
we get quite a large income from
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
And things like our cedar room, which we hire out to corporate companies for meetings.
Yeah,
So
that
we've
looks
got a
nice.
good income coming in.
Yeah, and the grounds are so well kept. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's just
And as
such
we
a
said,
beautiful place.
we noticed the 2 beehives as well, and the
Yes,
honey,
yes,
which
the
is
bees.
absolutely gorgeous.
Our very own bees.
That honey
Yes.
is lovely. I'm going to get another jar and put it at the back of the cupboard,
Yeah.
so that when this one runs out, I'll have another one, because
We've
that
just
is
recently
lovely.
introduced 2 new queen bees, because we last 2 occasions we went in, we couldn't find any queen bees. So
Oh.
we introduced 2 new queen bees, which came to us in the post. It's
Really?
Yes. Yeah, they come in a little plastic
Airmail.
box, which is all, they're very clever. They block the end up with fondant icing. Now, bees love fondant icing. In fact, during the winter, we feed them with fondant icing because they can't get
Oh,
any.
right.
So there's this little plug of fondant icing in. So we put this little packet in the hive, and you get a queen and a number of drones with
Yes.
her. They will eat the icing from the inside, and then the bees in the hive, because there are holes in this little plastic box, all the pheromones they know what's there.
Oh, yes.
So
yes.
they will eat the icing from the outside in, and eventually
They
can
mate.
get into the hive. It's very clever.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
nature though, isn't it?
Yes.
Nature is always clever.
Oh, nature is very clever.
Yeah.
Yes. But no, that honey is lovely. That is really nice.
So
But,
there we are. This is Saltisford
yeah.
Canal Centre as we are now.
And it's fantastic. There's you've got all the facilities. You've got the laundry. There's toilets. There's that little shop. You can even allow us to have the odd parcel delivered. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's amazing.
Close to the shop. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is.
I'm going to take a little bit of footage round. Oh, those the boats that are up there with the lock gates. What's all that about?
Ah, right. Yeah, we've got basically what is a on-land representation of a narrow lock.
Right.
And we've got the rear end, the cabin and engine room of a boat called Chiltern, which was a Fellows Morton and Clayton boat.
Right.
Which we have been donated by Ellesmere Port, along with 3 icebreakers, one of which is also in that lock.
Yes, I thought it was an ice-breaking boat.
Yeah. And we've got 2 others on the site. They are 3 of the original 7 that were built.
Goodness.
2 we know have sunk, and 2 have been turned into private boats. So we're quite fortunate to have 3.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
we're hoping to the cabin inside Chiltern is superb. It's really nice. It's just we've got to do some work to the outside at some point.
Thank you so much.
That's all right.
Thank
No
you,
problem.
Kate.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you very much.
The hand flight is also called the Stairway to Heaven. And the reason for that is when you get up towards the top, or near the top, you come up alongside the British Waterways Board depot.
Mm-hmm.
And if you at the top lock on that section, before you go under the bridge, if you look back down the flight, you will actually see St Mary's Church in Warwick quite clearly.
Oh, right.
That's why it's called the Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, thank you. Keith was so knowledgeable and we just loved talking to him, and he's just got one last thing.
It's like ladders inside locks.
Yeah.
Do you know why they're there?
Well, I would presume ladders in locks were to help people get in and out.
No.
Single-handers, no?
No.
Go on.
They're primarily there in case somebody falls in an empty lock and the gates are shut.
Oh,
When we were working, it was a general principle that you actually left lock gates open.
Right, okay.
So if the lock was empty, you could swim out.
Right, okay.
But these days you can't risk it. So all
No.
gates have to be shut. So that's why they've had to put the ladders in.
Right.
oh. Sorry. So from Noel,
From Knoll locks down
Yep.
to Napton,
yep. All the locks
all
are
the
the
locks are the same depth.
Wow. Wow, I never knew that.
See, this
Brilliant.
is where we
That
live
was the
and
only
learn.
thing that the engineers got wrong.
Yeah,
'Cause
Yeah.
They did it by the lay of the land.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the benefit of having them all the same drop is that the pounds are the
With the same amount of water that comes out of the lock is replaced by the lock above it, the same
yes. So the pounds shouldn't drain.
No.
Yes, brilliant. Thank you. Round the back of the laundry room, you've got an area that you can put a whirligig up and dry your washing. How cool is that? And here's the second of the ice boats. You can tell they're ice boats because of the point at the front. They used to crush through the ice. Obviously this one wouldn't float anymore. So it's going to be a big day today. We've got the Hatton flight to do. We've got all 21 locks to go up. So we're still travelling with Nikki at the moment. So we're going to breast up with Nikki. We may tie the boats together. We're going to see how it goes, so that then that frees up Nikki to help me do the locks. If not, it's just me doing the locks and the 2 boats. But got my strap on, my windlass strap, ready for my windlass. And yeah, Martin's just coming. Just got to get your hat, haven't you, mate?
Yes, my dear.
It is. It'll just fall out the boat. That's it. So we should be ready to go. Yeah.
Don't know if I'm looking forward to it or not.
No,
but,
no, and we don't know if we're tying the boats together yet or not, do we? So yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's quite warm as well. We've got to do a pump out first, but we have absolutely loved it here, haven't we?
I'll tell you what,
the
if I could stay,
Saltisford
I
Arm.
would.
Yeah.
Honestly, you couldn't ask for better, could you?
No.
The people that work here, or the volunteers, whatever, they are so helpful and they can't do enough for you.
They're so
really
lovely,
can't.
honestly. They've welcomed us in and we've just had a great time. How long have we been here now? 2, 3 nights? 3 nights?
We
4
come in
nights?
here Monday, didn't we? And it's now Friday.
So 4 nights.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say we've been psyching
4
ourselves up for these Hatton locks. But we're going to do it today. We're going to go up the end, we're going to wind, we're going to do the pump out and then wind again and then we're off. So
We're not wind, we're just going to reverse out.
Wish us luck. Yeah, but then you've got to wind the boat, haven't you? To go the other way.
Yeah.
See? So yeah, so wish us luck.
Yep. But like again, say, if ever you're thinking you're coming this way, 100%.
Yeah, Saltisford Arm. Yeah, it might be worthwhile giving them a call before you arrive just to make sure they have got moorings, but even if they haven't, they usually manage to fit you in somewhere, so they're really, really good.
You may have to breast up, but
Yeah.
honestly, it's not hardship, is it?
No, it's absolutely beautiful. You've got water points everywhere, electric you can have if you want electric. Yeah, they've got everything here. So anyway, we're off. So Martin's sorted the horns out. Hopefully it should be good. Yes, that sounds better, doesn't it, than our strangulated one that we've been having. And off we go. We have loved it here. So it's such a shame that we have to leave, but we can't keep putting off the Hatton flight any longer. We really need to go. Here we go. Bye bye. Thanks for having us. Oh, we need a pump out though.
On my way.
Brilliant, thanks Simon.
Hey, Julie.
And you, Joe, thank you. That's the laundry room there. And somebody's done their laundry and used one of the whirligigs. Honestly, the facilities here are just amazing.
Yeah.
We'll say bye-bye, Maria.
Yeah, bye.
Bye, thanks for having us.
Well, thank you for coming.
We're definitely coming back here. We've loved it, absolutely loved it. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, we're just going to do a pump out, yeah, but back in we go. We'll get our pump out before going and doing those locks. And Simon's there waiting for us on the pontoon, which is just there. Thank you very much, Simon.
You are very, very welcome.
Thank
It's been
you.
an absolute pleasure.
Oh,
to see you both.
we've
It's been
loved it
fantastic.
here. Totally
Good.
loved it. Thank
Well,
you.
you know
We'll
where we
see you
are.
again
Bye.
soon. Bye bye. Bye. Say bye bye to you all. Bye bye. Lovely to meet you too. Yeah. Thank you. Bye. These pretty gardens they've got here as well. Look. And back out we go. It's not as easy going backwards under the little bridge, but I have all faith in Martin. That's it. Bye bye Saltisford Arm. It's been lovely. We're just going to wind the boat again. And we're off. Just a very short distance and we'll come up to the first of the Hatton flight. Hope you enjoyed this video. It was a little bit different to the usual ones. And join us next time as we tackle the stairway to heaven. And if you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. It's totally free. And leave us a comment. We love to read them and I answer every single one. Thank you so much for the super thanks and coffees this week. We really, really appreciate it. See you next week. Bye.